Okay. The one in the 911 plan.
Well, good morning. We're going to get started. As you see, Mike Woods not here with us. Mike's a little under the weather today. A lot of other people. So is his VP Rob. So I'm going to do it this morning. I'm going to wing it. We're going to start here this morning, our February meeting, and our program today is on go bags, emergency go bags, as well as being able to use them for other events. And our presenter today is Mr. Lee Greenleaf, and he's going to tell you everything you need to know Go back in under an hour. Maybe.
I just yeah, thanks.
I'll let Mark get the screen going here. But that's gone. He can do a screen down in there. Thank you. Okay. Well, as you said, my name is Greenleaf, and I know probably most of you in here. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. What I'm gonna try to do today is something I did a couple of years ago. And we're gonna talk about go bags. Anything that people take a misunderstanding about is survivalism. Like, oh geez, preppers and all kinds of stuff like that. Survivalism is one of our ingrained things from our DNA. The will to survive, the will to go on. So, you know, when people talk about that and, you know, they try to label you or put in some place, just, you know, let them know that it doesn't work like that. Everybody has the will to survive. Next, please. Stand by. Okay. So how did we get here? Well, I got here mostly because things happen. You know, for a long time, people thought about nuclear blast, and that was all we thought about. Duck and cover and all that stuff. But then it came out that more and more different things were happening to people in their everyday lives. Some started making preparations in their houses, you know, stockpiling food, putting water bags in their place, you know, things like that. The media, you know, as I said, portrayed people different ways. Worldwide, it's still a problem. Third world nations never think what we think about. Because most of the time, they're in survival mode 24/7, 365. You know, in popular culture, there's a whole group of folks that are out there helping people to get prepared for doomsday. Next slide, please. Survivalism, as I said before, is a mutation of groups who actively prepare for emergencies. Let's take a real world scenario. Everybody's familiar with what just happened out in California. Or how about North Carolina? How about, you know, if anybody knows about catastrophes, we do. But still, how many people prepare? I mean, actually prepare. So what I'm gonna try to do is give you some ideas on things you can do, supplies you can have, ways to make it easier. Next, please. Well, as I said, the history there was everybody thought about nuclear blast. And that's most of the people near remember duck and cover. Yeah, getting under your desk in grade school. Well, we don't worry about that anymore. And it seems that we all are old enough to know that, you know, you just bend over and kiss it goodbye because, you know, if it happens, it's going to happen and it's going to be big. So we're going to go into the real phase of what we're looking at now. Next. We understand more than ever before that other things can happen. You know, we have people that pay attention to asteroids now. The near misses that we've had at Earth, because we know that a asteroid of say a mile in size could probably wipe out most of the northern hemisphere. But what it, what it does and the aftershocks from it. We don't think much about the world blowing up anymore. We think about what's happening in our society to us, about elections and all this other stuff. Think about what we're going to dinner. But we don't think about most of the time what we can do to prepare ourselves and our families with a what if scenario. And if you ever played the what if game, it can scare you. It happens all the time. So let's talk about planning for the real world. Next. State of California lets us know that we understand more about disasters than most people in the United States. We live through things here. We take them for granted. People come from Europe to chase tornadoes because they think it's unbelievable what we do here. But the kids, can sit in their house and as a first grader can read weather radar. Think about that. How many of your kids could look at the radar screen and tell you what's happening? We understand our world can be turned upside down and we had a whole lot of people in California that were extremely well-to-do. Most of them could rebuild without having to use insurance. But the whole thing, how many of them that you've seen on television left with something, to help them through the next few days? Most of them left with the clothes on their back, and that was it. Or whatever they could grab in 30 seconds or a minute to get out. That's kind of sad. And you think, oh, we look at those people as something special because they're supposed to, show us what to do. They're not. So it's up to us to show them what to do. Also, understand that insurance isn't going to help on things. Especially when disaster strikes. Insurance is way, way, way after. And we have to plan for the right now and the what ifs. Next, sir. Here's where the go bag comes in. When you're looking at a go bag, you have to take a lot of different things into consideration. What I always try to tell people is don't just think of yourself. Your spouse, your children, even your grandchildren. If they're spending time with you or you're spending time with any of them, then do they have a go bag as well? Next. Okay, what is it? It's manageable in size. You can see up here. It meets your personal needs. What I need is not going to be what anybody else in here probably needs. Allows you to have items you need to survive. Remember about survivalism again. It provides food, shelter, water needs, and fire starting. Those are the basic things that every human being needs in order to survive and all. It can provide you communication. I think people try to make a cell phone call when a tornado happens. Almost impossible, isn't it? Everything's busy. So as Ham, we know about that. We have, 2 meters, HF, different ways of talking to one another. But most of the people don't. We're at 0.02%. It's amazing the last year, our numbers have grown more than they have in the last 20 years. People are finally understanding that, gee, when it hits the rotary oscillator, we're the ones that can talk. It provides protection for us. It provides medication, and most of all, it provides peace of mind. Next. Okay, let's talk about what it isn't. It isn't everything you need for your family. You can't pack everything in this size that you need for your family. It isn't your wardrobe. It isn't made for total survival. It's designed for every climate. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And it isn't designed to meet your every need. It is the most important items, which are the brain and your training. That's what you always need. Next. Okay, the media wants to talk everybody into a particular category. Some doomsday survivors or just unprepared. And you know, in a lot of instances, what we've seen on the news has been just that, the unprepared. Next. What do they look like? Well, like I said, it looks like this. It can look like a lot of other things. Did anybody have to bring their go bag with them? I'll ask, how many people in here have a go bag? Outstanding. Like to see that. Next. Looks like this as well. It doesn't have to be exactly like this. It can be whatever you choose that's going to meet your needs completely. I tell folks, you know, when you're going out and shopping for a bag, try it on. You try it on like you try on a pair of pants or a coat. See how well the straps adjust, you know, where it fits, how does it, you know, and how does it hit your body. Try different ones and see which works for you the best. Next. Another example, this one's a commercial. You know, if you go on Amazon and type in go bags, you get bunches of pages of different things. Yeah, different things are doing. Some of them, you know, less than $50, some of them are, you know, $600. But there, somebody else is deciding for you what you need. You think that's right? Next. I say try it before you buy it. As I said, you know, try it on, adjust the straps, look at the pockets that it has. Does it have a lot of integrated pockets inside and out? Can you divide things up? It's a good idea to be able to divide up like first aid kit. I have this one that's quick to catch, so I can just take it. Do you need cordage? Do you need something to cut with? I've got two different radios on here. On this one, I've got a FSR radio and then the 2-meter radio. And it's just because, you know, people don't realize there's so much use for FSR and that type of thing in a disaster situation. You know, repeaters, when it hits the fan, repeaters will be jammed as well. But if we're trying to keep tabs on kids and spouse and, you know, what's going on around you, a simple FSR radio with all them, you know, is going to help you keep a leash on everybody, find out what's going on, and give you a little bit of calm security, you know, COMM security. We're going to hold everything down here, and I've got a box in the back of my car, and in that box, you know, I've got a down vest that's all smushed and packed in a small bag. I've got a machete, an axe, several other different things that, you know, are not something I look at in carrying, but if I keep my car near me, I can use them to help set up the shelter. So, you know, always think about what you're going to do. If you're just going to have this, fine, that's great. I tell folks, when you can't plan for the weather, we know, you know, like today, what it's going to be. But we know tomorrow and the next day and the next day, they're going to really be different. So having what we need in the car is probably not always the thing. I tell folks, put a good pair of shoes or boots in your car. Something that you just, you know, don't wear on a regular basis, but, you know, they're broken in, they're ready to wear. Keep at least 2 pairs of socks with it. Other than that, you have winter coats, you know, then you can either have that in the trunk or you're going to be wearing it during the winter. But during the summer, you don't need it, so you might be changing out to something else. I keep a couple of hats in the car. But, you know, the other thing is that when you're picking these out, you need to pick something that's sturdy, something that's going to service you well. Zippers are a real big important thing. I tell folks, get zippers that are of a good size, the teeth are large, they're self-healing. Which you don't know what a self-healing zipper is. And by that, it makes it so your bag is going to be more trustworthy. I advise folks nowadays to buy equipment that has what's called a MOLLE setup. If you're not familiar with a MOLLE setup, it's all these little areas that you can attach other things. MOLLE setups are going to give you really what you need because you can add on a first aid kit, you can add on a radio pouch, you can add on another kit for survival. You know, you can put water in here. You can have a tourniquet and bandage shears. There's so many things that you can carry. Keep another one here that's just for my compass. You know, if you're out and about, sometimes you might end up going cross country. Maps are of use. I tell folks, you know, think about a city map, a good city map. Think about a state map. And then think about getting a map from the Geological Survey. Let's say you have an area that you're planning on going with a family to away from your house. I would do a geosite map that's going to tell you everything about the terrain and everything where creeks are and all kinds of stuff. Because that way it's going to help your whole family plan for the future. Next. Okay, what they don't look like, well, some nice little young lady on a bicycle, they don't look like that. You know, a little water pouch and maybe a snack. Next. You look like that, it's good for a weekend, but it's not worth anything for, you know, think about having everything in there and trying to dig around to find something. Hence the reason for the compartments. Next. Considerations. Okay. Does it fit your needs and size? Is it designed for one function? You know, some people buy a bag and they think about first aid. That's all they think about, first aid. Well, first aid is not going to help them survive. It may do something. I spent 14 years of my life as a paramedic, and one thing I can tell you, unless you have the training to do something, don't start carrying stuff that you've never used in your life. I see people put suture kits in a bag. I see them put, you know, thoracic needles in a bag. Pachythyroidotomy, you know, needles in a bag. And they've never done one in their life. Don't know where to, you know, where to feel for proper space to put them in or anything else. So I tell folks, you know, plan for what you can do yourself. If you had a first aid course, great. If you haven't, please take one. You know, a lot of guys are already EMTs at one time in their life. That's great. Gives you the basics for ABCs and then some. And then, are you trying to carry too much? This one weighs in at 18.5 pounds. But a Marine, you know, carries 80 pounds. And they're a whole lot fitter than anybody else in this group that I can see right now. I'm sorry if I offend you. But, yeah, they limit themselves as to what they can carry. Next, sir. What are absolute must? Okay, I say spare glasses if you have difficulty seeing. The ones you have on your face break, then what are you going to do? Medications. If you're like me, I'm hope you aren't. You get more medications than you probably think of. So have a separate box bag, you know, something separate with your medications in it. What I do is use old canisters inside the hard shell box. And I put a tickler, let's see, on my phone that every 90 days, it's time for me to change the medicine out. You know, put it back in the bottle because it's not bad, but losing the strength. And I get fresh and replace it. And the same thing for batteries. Every 90 days, even though batteries are designed for 10 years, if they're sitting in your car with the windows rolled up during the summer and it gets up to 145 degrees in there, how much do you think it's doing to those batteries? So change them out on a regular basis. I call it put it back in rotation. Food, I use freeze-dried food for at least 3 days worth. The big thing about freeze-dried food, life shelf is 25 to 30 years. It makes it real easy to prepare it because you don't have to have a mess kit. You just heat water, put it in a pouch and stir it up. That's it. Fire has several different ways of making fire. People overlook carrying a big lighter. I'm going to carry a magnesium steel. Oh, that's great. Have you ever started a fire using magnesium steel? Think about the things that you're going to carry and then try using them. Test it out. See what it really takes to use them. Some things aren't worth putting in the bag. Long time ago, I'm going to say that, I used to love the backpack. And I learned then that ounces turn into pounds. And so the fewer ounces that you can carry, the fewer pounds you end up carrying. Water, I've got some little small bags of water in there. They're commercially made, they're made to last for 5 years. And, they want to stay good. So something like that, can at least tide you over for, a day, sometimes more, before you can find a water source. But then we also need to think about that water source. You don't know what may be in it. So, here again, things that people have read about but never done. They drop iodine tablets in something, think it's going to be purified, or they boil it and think that's it. Boiling is usually this way, but the better way, especially for thirst immediately, is what's called a life straw. A life straw takes out 99.7% of all the nasties that you can eat. And it's good for like 600 gallons. You're not going to do that in 3 days. So, having something like that is really going to make a difference in, how you can take care of your water needs and go on from there. Next slide, please. Up here, you got a view what's going on with this. And I'll kind of go a little bit about it. Right here is the camelback. The camelback is a bladder that's out here in the back. You put water in it, and as you're going along, you can sip water, keep yourself hydrated. After that, I've got light sticks, moleskin. Anybody know what moleskin for? Yeah, blisters. A shortwave radio. Well, depend on HF or VHF, things like that. But shortwave can get you news that maybe you don't get anywhere else. You always have to worry about the news that you're getting and how good that news source may be. Paracord bracelet that you can take apart, and you've got paracord to use for other things. Knife, you can't have too many knives. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Gibbs rule number 7. Always carry a good knife. But the thing about a knife is what it can do for you, how it can also be fashioned. Knife like down here, can be also used with sticks for a spear. There's several different things. Insect repellents. Things to keep ID and waterproof. One of my favorite things, blood stopper. You never know, something's gonna happen that you need to stop the blood right then.
Right.
And that's a major one.
Really?
Of course, your compass. I keep a small set of binoculars in there because it helps you to scout out where you're going. Hot hands and cold or hot feet that you can put inside your shoes or inside your pockets to keep your hands warm. Fire starter. It's been raining for days. It was hard to get fire going. But you use a fire starter, it's even gonna work in the pouring rain. And it does. I've tried it. Metal cup. The reason I say a metal cup is you can put it over an open flame. You can heat water in it, put your coffee, whatever you want to do. But also have a cup that you can measure with. Or if it doesn't have a measurement on it, then measure it yourself and you know, take a punch or a chisel and mark, you know, for half a cup, a whole cup, things like that on the outside. So when you fill it up, you know what mark to use. A leather knife or leather set is always great because it gives you so many extra tools. Drama scissors, the up in the upper right hand corner flexible saws. Those things are absolutely amazing. If you've never tried one, I urge you to try one. The top one is a chainsaw. And believe me, they can go through a 4-inch, 5-inch, tree, small tree, just like a chainsaw does. Throwing it back and forth. I'll tell you something else. The smaller one down below it, it's got little 2 rings on it. Don't sit there and try cutting it with your fingers through those rings, because it gets hot and it will burn you then. Take some of your paracord and run it through there so you got good hand grips and then use it. And then up in the top, those are the freeze-dried needles. Most of them are good for 2 servings, or 2 people can eat 1. And that type of thing will help you more than anything else. Fire tablets, if you want to use for a little small collapsible stove. All these things are small, lightweight, and do a world of good. The first aid kit.
Oh, yeah.
I've got things in here, like a splint. Just form it, whatever you needed, wrap around it, and go. I'll let anybody go through here to see what they want to. The things, like I said, are the most important is to pick things that you can use, not me, that you can use, and deal with those. Sometimes your pack may be a heck of a lot lighter than mine, or it may weigh more than mine. It doesn't make any difference. It's what you need. Next, please. Share the load. Now, don't try carrying everything for your family. Please. They depend on you, and if you wear yourself out doing that, then it's going to be a bad day. Your wife can carry things for her. The kids, even little kids, can carry stuff for them. I found a long time ago that involving your kids with family meetings like this about, what would happen if we need to get out of the house. We'll let them know and not scare them when it really happens. And talk about things that they can have, that they can take with them. Maybe they got a favorite toy, a favorite stuffed animal. Let them have it. Bring it with them. Make separate go bags, and then maybe you need to have go bags for the house as well. There's the things, shelter in place. But if you're in a wildfire, obviously you can't shelter in place, you've got to go. But if something else is going on, then you can. You know, if you got dogs, big dogs, they make little saddle packs for, you know, German shepherds and things like that, that work beautifully. So think about who all can carry what and how much you need. As I said, there's no hard and fast rules on any of this. This is something that you're designing for your needs. Next. Kids go bags, okay. See, they can carry their own freeze-dried foods. Maybe they find something you like. I tell folks, buy different freeze-dried foods and fix them for dinner, you know, or lunch on a Saturday or something like that. Try them out, find out what you like to eat. I will tell you that they make some very, very tasty freeze-dried foods. Extremely good. But the kids may have a favorite, mac and cheese or something, you know, well, they make that as well on freeze-dried. They need to be included, like I said. It's imperative that you talk with them, keep them up to speed. The more you talk, the more you ask them questions, the less fearful they become. They take medication, and then on their age, they can carry the medication in their pack. If not, you carry it. Here's where calm is important. You know, kids like talking on walkie-talkies. It's fun. And why not buy one of their own? But then also, you know, tell everybody, and it seems strange to a lot of people to begin with that. Think about having or setting communication times. Like between 20 after and 25 after, we'll be listening on this channel. That's the way you conserve battery. And also somebody else doesn't know what your schedule is. How many people in your family do. So there you're doing, you know, calm security. At the same time, you're having battery conservation. Same thing with a flashlight. Teach them that the flashlight isn't for using all night long. You know, it's for using to find what you need and turning off. But those are, you know, things that help with kids especially. Next, please. So that communication, so here is where weight can truly make a difference. Gee, everybody here already on 2 meters. I hope. And it's going to help you an awful lot. But you know also the limitations of 2 meters, especially if you're simplexed. So keep that in mind. For your vehicle, you can make a go box, keep it in your vehicle. I do. And you know, I have HF, VHF, UHF in it, DMR. So I'm pretty much covered. So go boxes can help you an awful lot. You know, if you can, the more you can use your vehicle, the better off you are. But there are times that you're not going to be able to use your vehicle, either out of gas or, you know, locked by other vehicles blocking you in. So there may be a time where you have to abandon. Consider what antennas you want to use. There's a lot of roll-up things that are fantastic for 2 meters in UHF. They do, you know, up to 3.9, 3.8 dBd. So they work well. HFGs, you know, people with HF know how many different ways you can transmit. You know, as hams, we understand you can take a piece of wire and throw it up in a tree and talk states away or talk to Europe. And that's what makes a huge difference between us and most of the other people out there. We have trained, we know what to do, And we can, at the spur of the moment, make communications happen. GMRS, FSR radios allow the family to stay connected. You know, it's just like all the preppers now are out there with their no bang saying, well, emergency, I can use it on the hand bands. You know, the neatest thing that I've seen so far is that they plan on just opening the box and charging it or something, or having the batteries at least charged, with opening the box and being able to talk on it. They know nothing about PL tones or what frequencies to be on, anything else. So most of the time, they're not going to be interference with us anyway. But they believe that, hey, I've got the low thing, I can talk to the world. Spare batteries for your comm gear. I keep in my Go box a solar panel. So I can literally recharge everything that I carry. Makes it so much easier. And I can keep my Go box going days and days on end. So it's not a problem. So give some thought about, you know, flexible solar cells. I say that because it's hard to carry those rigid panels around. But I've got one that folds up about the size of an iPad. It's 100 watts. You know, it's great. Next, please. Okay, this goes back to what I said. If you're trained as a first aid or an EMT or a paramedic and member of physician, then you've got skill sets. If you're not, like I said, don't start carrying suture sets and needles to do things that you don't want to do. Especially medications that have been prescribed for you at one time or another, that you think, well, I'll keep them carrier in case somebody else needs something like this. Because maybe you don't know that they might be allergic to it. There are so many, you know, allergies to medications, it's unbelievable. Kids that are young, the parents really have, you know, a whole new set of things. They got diapers and diaper bags and powders and cleaning wipes and so much other, plus formula or, you know, other ways of nursing. So, you know, it's a whole new set of problems there. But it may be your choice, maybe something that has to be overcome. So you have to plan. You have to talk about it. And, you know, please don't leave the ostrich and bury your head in the sand. People with handicaps, they face a whole new set of problems. Most people with a handicap have learned how to deal with their handicap or, you know, circumvent it in some way. Maybe they have to go out slower or can't go to the same places you can go, but that's what they have to deal with. You know, that's what they have to deal with. So allow that. Specialized medical needs such as insulin. That is probably the hardest one that's out there. The thing that I've discussed with a lot of people about insulin is that, you know, these crushable coal bags, you get a small, I mean small box, thermal box that will hold the insulin and hold one of those bags. You can put one in and probably once a day, just have to change it out. And you're able to keep the insulin full. But it does give you a whole new sense of problems. I say 5 days for all your meds, and even though you're packing for 3 days, you just never know that something might happen. You might get someplace where you're not eating out of your bag, but you still have to stay there for 4 more days. So have the extra meds with you. And then, like I said earlier, rotate all your medications and your batteries every 90 days. Just a reminder with your phone, paper calendar, or your phone, or however you remind yourself of things. You'll put it down and change them out. Next, please. electronic gear. You have folks that carry GPS. We have folks that carry, geez, all kinds of different extra things. A shortwave receiver. I usually have in my car a battery powered shortwave receiver, but I also have a hand crank that does weather and AM FM. And that's good because I don't have to lose up batteries. I just crank it up and it runs for a half hour. Make sure every piece of electronic equipment you're going to carry, you need. Don't go by, it'd be nice to have this. That's not what you're planning on right now. Yeah, wait, it'd be nice to have it, put it in the car. But if you're gonna put it on your back and maybe have to travel with it, start limiting. Marked maps. People don't realize sometimes about some of the things that can happen in a true emergency. Families get split. Kids might still be at school. The two family members might be at jobs diametrically opposite of one another on the map. So talk about rally points. Talk about, something that maybe the kids can get to from school and then you can be there. And, plan on it, mark it on the maps. Let everybody know that, we're gonna be here and we're gonna stay here until everybody's accounted for. And then again, it comes back to the thing with the radio. Every time, during the hour, for this 5-minute period, we're going to be listening. So, make contact. FSR radios, like I said, they always give, well, let's go to 50-mile range. It's not a good day to get an average. But it may have two better ones, may have 2-mile range. And that's not bad when we get hold of somebody. If you can pick a high spot, you buy yourself range. You know that as well as anybody else. So having that, picking the radios with channel, those things have 72 channels, I think, with sub channels. It's not a godly amount. So you can always pick up something and make it something that's easier to remember. Like we're going on 727. Oh, it's a JIT 727. If you need to make up some code, do that too. Make it so that your family is all tuned in to the same page, because you don't know what circumstances you may be dealing with. One of the last things I try to remind everybody out. You have this, you got it well stocked. Guess how many people don't have one? Guess how many people want yours? That's the truth. Next. Yeah, like I said earlier, buyer beware. Take the time, go on Amazon, really take a look at what they've got here. And see, I mean, geez, I offered $137, and it was great if you're going to be a lumberjack. But it didn't carry much else. Or you're going to dig foxholes and be a lumberjack. So, look and see what it is. I tell folks, find a pack. I got this one at Academy. It's nothing less than a pack, but I got it from Academy. They don't have to be an arm and a leg. They're water repellent, not waterproof, but you could use sprays on them as well to make them more water repellent. It's a good idea to do. But from there, plan, if you have things that can get damaged by water, spray them in plastic bags or double bagged. So if it got dropped, in water, it's going to be good. Next, please. Yeah, I finally vanished today. Questions? Yes, sir.
Talk about hybrid bags versus more tactical options.
Tactical options?
Talk about a high vis bag versus a more tactical option.
Okay. A high vis versus a tactical option. First of all, this is not a high vis bag. It's a neutral bag. It's not camouflage, so people look at it a little bit differently than they look at a camouflage bag. Most people look at a camouflage bag and think, oh, military or something else, you know. It doesn't sand or just a, you know, a tote bag can be better. Now, bright bags, oranges and, you know, yellows and things like that, the kids may like. Sometimes it's, you know, the better thing that you can do for your kids. But if you have that, you can also consider a cover to go over it if necessary. But yes, I'm very much in favor of keeping your bag as neutral, urban neutral as possible. If you have to dump it, you know, remember when you dumped it, but it's probably not going to be drawing attention because it's a bright shining star out there. Yes, sir.
So I wear AFOs and I discovered on those hot feet,
Mhm.
if I put them inside my AFO, they don't get oxygen, they don't get,
Oh, I never thought about that.
because it's all, it's resting, it's oxidation, and so it's gotta get oxygen.
Yeah.
to get
It
oxygen.
does, it does. You know, that's the strange thing about the shoe warmers or, you know, hand warmers, things like that. Yeah, they depend on oxygen to generate the heat. I've got, you know, a North Face jacket that I've, you know, used with some. And occasionally I have to take them out and shake them a little bit and put them back in because they're not generating the heat they should. Yes, sir.
By any chance, do you recommend or carry a reflective Mylar blanket or sheet?
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely. I carry two, Mylar blankets and what's called a double, which can be converted into an emergency tent. So, you know, those things are, it's so valuable to you. They weigh nothing. But yet they can give you complete, I mean, you could be in sub-zero weather and be comfortable. And I mean that honestly. When I was a paramedic, it was amazing the things we get to people that are involved in motor vehicle accidents. They had been exposed to sub-freezing weather for, you know, minutes before we ever got there. And they were already hypothermic and going into power. You get it wrapped up and they change within minutes. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Just a comment, since I have a type 1 diabetic, we actually found, it's like a water bottle and it's got a freeze pack that's designed that the insulin bottles can fit around and it's insulated like
That's
that.
great. So thank you. That's a wonderful.
Found it on Amazon. Used it.
Okay, and I'm not gonna advocate this. I've done Smith for 44 years. I teach shooting still. But Oklahoma is a state that you can carry in. And if you're trying to protect your family, if you're so inclined, then think about that as well. Pardon?
Practice.
Yeah, practice, please.
Practice.
For survival, yes, practice.
I'm real good with a rifle. This is the first time I shot it, I hit it halfway to the target. So, you know, on your medication.
Yeah.
We keep all our medications, we have like 7-day pill, but everything else is in a watertight plastic tote. And what, we can just reach down and grab it, and that gives us a fresh 90 days worth.
It
without
does,
rotating.
in some instances, that's a lot to carry. And some people, let's say you go unconscious. Does everybody else know what to give you if you need it? You know, of course, you open a pill with unconscious person. I don't just, you know, using that as an example, you're kind of out of it. So those are things to think about. Yes, sir.
Just want to offer a comment from a retired military doctor. We know that an adult male in good physical condition can carry 25% of his own body mass more or less forever. At 50%, you can carry that for a couple of weeks before you get injured. And at 75%, you will get injured. soon,
Yeah.
in a week or two.
Yeah.
So resist the urge to carry all of this nice to have stuff. And if you look around the room, how many of us are really fit like a soldier? I can't carry 25% of my body weight.
So what's one?
Percent of my body.
To carry
But like,
80 pounds.
Absolutely,
All the
Carl.
time.
I mean, you've got to
Yeah.
think about your own limitations and what you can and can't do, and what your family can and can't do. Plan for that at the beginning. Anything else? I've got two sets of handouts up here, during the break, if you like to go out and get them. One is on, go back suggestions. And the other is put out by Ready Okay, and it just gives you some other ideas and sources for that. Thank you so much.
5 minute break. 5 minute break.
get that paper. Don't do amazing.
Break your leg, I'm sure. That's okay. I've got, you got.
My arms are no good.
Larry, you know, Larry, he wanted to keep Charlie membership. That it was Larry, he was going to say, right.
I only had two.
Yeah. He's your action.
Aubrey?
Yeah, they found somebody. Somebody selling those. Yeah. Yes, these are just somebody is selling those in here.
I got mine done for the filter.
Oh, okay.
Wednesday, late on St. Louis. What library?
I don't think it. One of the guys on there. Good morning, and welcome to the February Stars Club meeting. We'll start with, introductions. I'm Mark, N5AZQ, and the man sitting over there playing with all that electronics.
Mark Klein, N5H set off. Kilo India 5, Juliet Tango Tango.
Peter Richardson, KA5COI.
Call.
Todd, KA0IKD.
Bob.
Ex-President.
Gary, 85LUX.
John.
Oh, I'm sorry, W5HLG.
Alan, W5ADS.
David, KI5QMF.
Hank, K5HHQ.
Dave, KE5R&W.
Aubrey, KF5DJH.
Larry.
Larry, W5LHG.
Lee, Whiskey 5, Hotel Lee McGough.
Bill, AE5F.
Rodney, KF5UZA.
Ken, K8WGE.
Kelton, KJ5JSG.
Mike, KJ5CHD.
David, KJ5IJC.
David, KE5SRA.
Reggie, 8552.
Jocelyn, KF5IJC.
Tony, WS9APR. Jake, KE5LXD.
YouTube.
Mary, the chauffeur, no call number.
Yeah, we'll get you.
Yeah, well,
Mike, N5SOF.
Brent, WX0BLS.
and we got Mike, KB5 and HXT. We got Wayne, KK5IO. We got LeVon. She doesn't have her call up there, that's okay. We got Dave, KI5UQU. And we got Chris, KE5JZN. All right. Let's start with, we don't have Chris here. Hey, Chris,
here.
you want to secretary report?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, last month we had 44 members in person and 12 via Zoom. Minutes were read and the treasurer's report was read. Last year, we made $1,161 in dues over 2023. And it's a new year, so dues are due. VE report, there was no test session held on January 9th due to weather. Cora and ARRL, the marathon volunteers are needed. You can sign up on Cora's website. Altus is officially having a Ham Fest on March 29th. Elk City's Ham Fest is the first weekend of March. Ada's Ham Fest was this weekend. And they had the all ham dinner on January 16th. Program was an ARRL update by West Gulf Division Director John Stratton. Announcements, Tuesday night is Elmer night from 6:30 to 9 at the fire station. And the meeting ended at 11:14.
All right, sir. Appreciate it. Any questions or comments? All right. Treasury report, Mr. Larry Goodwin.
Okay. On this meeting,
Yeah, you're good.
okay. Net income last month was 631.40. And brings our balance sheet have $28,077 in checking account, 24,000 or 2,800 in the checking account, 24,939 in savings, 427 in petty cash, for a total of $27,424. Anyone have any questions? Dues are due as of January 1st, at $25 individually, or 26 for a family membership. And we take credit card, check, for cash, meeting, or online, you can go and pay online with credit card. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. As far as the VE report. Okay.
Like we said, like Chris said, we had a cancellation due to weather in January, which meant, February was the biggest one we've had in a long, long time. 12 fine folks showed up. We got generals, texts and all kinds of places, all updates all over there. Any of these fine folks here today? There you go. Yay, one, congratulations. Yay. As always, we do these Thursday nights at 6:30, so everybody comes at 6, I have no idea why. Thursday nights at 6:30, on the first Thursday night at 6:30, here in the firehouse. And off we go, so that's good. What else we need?
Backward. Okay. Next, VE testing is March 6th. So if you're planning on taking a test, make sure you go on the website and sign up for it, so Ed will know in advance of how many he's gonna have for testing. Tech report, and Mark, if you go ahead and cover the tech report, as well as the Cora ARRL report as well. We'll do it together.
Good deal. Tech report, there, we had, one report of an issue that turned out to be somebody with a brand new radio that created one of them feedback loops and timed out the machine. No guilty parties I'm looking at right now. I don't think they're here, but, that happens to the best of us. Other than that, everything else is up and rocking and rolling, is what Ed reported at the, executive committee meeting Thursday night. The ARL good stuff, we've got Hamfest today down in Ada's, if you want to zip down there after the meeting, they're supposed to be open until about 3 o'clock, they're in the small animal barn. They should be a larger animal barn if I'm going down there, but, they have had those in the past, they will, continue them, they're supposed to start them up. I don't know, I think they started them up about 3 or 4 weeks ago, so hopefully we'll get better traction next year on this. But that could be fun. Next one's coming up in March, first week of March in Elk City. After that, Altus is doing their first Hamfest in a long time on March 29th. After that comes that little one up there in Claremore that fills the big huge room in the middle of April. Hamcom, if you want to go up to Dayton in May, then Oklahoma City in July. And Ardmore down there in October, and I think Enid is going to be in November. They have still not got that nailed down, but I believe they're going to try to go back to November. They went to September for the last couple of years, and we all complained enough that they're going to go back to November. So that should get that calendar going. All hand dinner was great. We had, I don't know, 65 or 70 folks up there at the Pickles Steakhouse. There's like 3 different pickles, so you gotta be careful where you're going. Next one will be in May, the 3rd week in May on Thursday evening. If you want to get together with about 75 local hams. Big thing is marathon's coming. End of April, 25th, 26th. If you go to coraok.org/marathon or follow the links in the newsletter that went out this week, you can sign up. We will be running 16 medical stations where we will be running 5 SAG wagons. I know people talk yes or no, that are we going to be in the SAG wagons? We will be in the SAG wagons. The SAG people will have an EMS radio, so they will primarily dispatch over EMS radio, but they will be SAG, they will have ham radios as well. They just don't want to put any medical information over the amateur radio to break these silly laws that Aubrey's buddies put in place. No, that has to deal with. But so they're going to do that. Water and ice. I always want to say fire and ice, but water and ice trucks supposed to be able to run in about 5 of those and a couple other positions. So we need about 65 fine folks to help out this year. If you are new and unexperienced, we would love to have you. We put medical tents, medical tent people out in pairs of 2. One person knows what they're doing and the other one will know what they're doing at the end of the day. So we will train you. This year, Ken Sanborn out of our club and other clubs, and a team of folks here at Elmer Knight have developed a vertical, quarter wave vertical on that will go on top of the medical flag. So if you have worked the medical tents before, they have a big 15-foot flag that goes up there. And we decided this year, let's use that for an antenna. So we're gonna have about 20 antennas. We just slide on the top of that medical piece and it'll drop down to a piece of coax that you can hook your radio up to. We will have different options for SMAs, male, female, UHF, BNC, and F. So whatever floats your boat there. So if you need information to get going, coraok.org/marathon will be where you can go. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell Mark. I think that's probably our big thing for the reason. Yes, and it's enemy, not enema. That's different. I found that out. That's different. Yes, and the doctors told me that. So yeah, don't bend over. So we should be good with all of those fun things. If you want to get involved with the Cora, which is the group that plans all this stuff.
Meeting coming up in March.
Yeah, our first meeting will be of the year will be March, first Saturday in March, whatever that is, 7th, March 8th. No, 1st of March. Oh boy, it's one of those 1st of March deals. which means it's coming soon. But if you want to get involved with that group in a bigger way, let me know. We will happily get you going. Anything else? We're good? Anything on that list I can help you with? Nope.
Even with nets.
I can walk around your nets.
Yeah, need, are you, I'll let you pull them up.
I'll pull them up.
Good idea, good idea. Okay, I'm gonna try to wing it here on these things here. It's been a while since I've done these. We're gonna try to do the nets. Let Mark pull those up. That give me a little bit of a heads up.
Where are you going first?
6 meter net. Or we can do the Aries net. I don't care. Pick one.
Find somebody and start talking.
Yeah, there's the, oh, go down, there you go. We have an Aries DMR, net on Monday nights. On 3140 at 8/15/2015. Central Time.
I was looking for net control.
Yeah, they're always looking for net controls to help with that. If you're interested in that, let Mike Wood or Mark Klein know. And they'd be glad to get you set up to do that. It's not hard to do those Aries nets. Go ahead and just pull on down to the 6 meter net. K5JSD Memorial 6 meter net is on Monday evenings at 8 o'clock local time. It's on 5200 upper sideband. We, like I said, on any of these nets, we can always use extra help. We have the weekly Aries VHF net on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. It's hosted by the Cleveland County Aries Traffic Net group on our 2 meter repeater on 4706. And then we have the weekly gossip net on Tuesday that follows that at 8:30. And usually Kenny is running that one. He enjoys doing that net. We have a 10 meter net. It's a memorial net, the N5HZX. That was Dr. Phil.
No, that's right.
No, that's the Wednesday one. Phil's Thursday. Sorry. Thank you. The Wednesday one, Craig Goodwin, is on 8 o'clock on 28445 up on sideband. And then we have the UHF net on Thursday nights. That is the KD5U Geo Memorial Net, Dr. Phil's net. On our as far as 440 repeater, the 70 centimeter repeater at 8 o'clock.
Main's online. Grab it a second.
Yeah. And then we also have a McLean County Aries net. I'm not sure when that is. Wednesdays.
8 o'clock, Wednesday evening.
8 o'clock Wednesday evening. So if you want to participate in that, what frequency?
442-400, David's.
442.400. That's David Gates repeater. Let's do the siren net and have Mr. Wayne talk about that.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Yeah, we do the siren net every Saturday at noon local time on the 440 repeater, which is 443-700. PL 141.3. Pretty dreary today, but we are doing the sirens today. So I think Mr. Ed is the net control for today, and he's making preparations to do such. So we invite anybody that wants to participate. You know, we take all volunteers. We've got more sirens than we've got volunteers. Norman, Moore, Newcastle, and Normal, and Noble. And So if you want to volunteer and you are properly licensed to operate on full 40, then give us a holler at siren@w5nor.org and we can get you set up there. So that's about it. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate that information. Yeah, that's important because they do have the technology to be able to know whether or not it comes on or not at the base station, you know, at the home office, but they really need people out there to make sure that it's working, that it's rotating if it does do that, and whether or not it sounds. So they need to know that so they can get those specs because we are getting ready to go into severe weather. And they definitely need all those working. Okay, at this time, I would like us to take a moment to remember all of the hands that we have lost in the last year and some recently. So let's take a minute and remember them. Okay. Is there any other new business or any other old business? Yeah, Lee, you want to go ahead and make your announcement?
I'll head there, Monday. Next Saturday, we are having an open house at the new Emergency Operations Center. The morning, we're having a training session, but in the afternoon from noon to about 3, we're having an open house. The ham room, which I'm completing on, will be open for everybody to take a look at, ask any questions. And if you ever thought about volunteering, please get in touch with me or David.
Any other business bring forward to the club? Since Mike wasn't here today, or Rob, they will present to the club next month. The budget stuff for this year we're working on. It'll be basically like it was last year, but they'll present that next month to the membership. If there's nothing else brought for the club, the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you. Be safe.